When I was younger and I realized my religious beliefs were probably wrong, I remember it took me a while before I admitted to myself even that I was an atheist. I remember falling asleep one night without praying, kind of scared, and then waking up the next morning and double checking to make sure everything was still okay with me. Turned out I was fine, no scars. I'm obviously really glad that I left my faith now, but it's not like my parents' faith was as oppressive or dogmatic as some other faiths are today. There actually are a lot of benefits to becoming an atheist. My friend Neil Carter actually wrote a wonderful article about the benefits of leaving religion, in his case Christianity, and you could read that right here. I wanted to talk about some of his ideas and some of the other ideas some of you shared with me on Facebook. So what are the benefits of leaving your faith? Well, first of all, there's no conflict anymore between what you believe and what's real. I don't think it's possible to reconcile science and religion. When those two go head to head, science always wins. It's not like any scientific theory has ever been replaced by a religious belief. But think about the conflicts that a lot of religious people have to deal with. Do I read the book of Genesis literally, or do I accept all the evidence that points to the Big Bang and the theory of evolution? Do you believe that a dead man came back to life days later, or do you believe your own experiences that say that could never happen? Do you believe some lines in the Bible about how gay people should be put to death, or do you believe your own humanity that says everyone deserves to be happy and have equal rights? There are still a lot of unanswered questions out there, but reality never contradicts atheism. Reality contradicts religion all the time. Saying hello to atheism means saying goodbye to a lot of cognitive dissonance. Next, you can embrace science instead of running away from it. So many religions have their own creation myth, and it goes against what science has taught us over the past several centuries. When you're not religious anymore, you can learn about how our universe came to be and how we came to be without worrying that you're somehow making God angry. When a miracle happens somewhere, you can try to figure out the underlying cause, how it actually happened, the natural explanation, instead of just accepting that God did it. When a hurricane happens, you can look for the environmental causes, not just blame the sinners. And unlike some creationists, you can read more than one book. Turns out learning is awesome when you don't have to worry about what you're reading. You can accept people that you used to judge harshly. Many religions teach that homosexuality is a sin, or that LGBT people are somehow deviant, or that single people are not whole, or that married couples who don't have children are somehow not fulfilling their purpose. We've all seen Christians, especially if you're living in the US, we've all seen Christians who have been judgmental towards those people. But when you're an atheist, there's no book telling you which way you're supposed to treat them. You're free to accept people as they are. And if you're an atheist and you still treat those people like shit, it's not because of your beliefs. It's because you're an asshole. You can give credit where it's due. When a doctor saves the life of a patient, or an actor wins a big award, or a football player scores a touchdown, we're so used to hearing them thank God for what they just did. But God didn't do that. You did. You're the one who worked hard and put in the hours. You're the one who made all the sacrifices. You're the one who deserves a pat on the back. When you're an atheist, there's nothing stopping you from giving credit to the people who actually deserve it. To the experts, to your parents, to the people who worked hard, and to yourself when it's appropriate. You get your Sunday mornings back. That's not a joke. For people who work during the week and only have a couple of days to unwind, having your Sunday morning free to sleep in or go out for breakfast or enjoy a hobby is actually pretty incredible. It makes you less stressed out and keeps you healthier too. For many people, going to church is a chore. They go there because they're obligated to, not because they really want to be there. It turns out there are much better ways you could be spending your time if you don't want to be at church. Go volunteer somewhere. Go spend some time with your family. Go read a book. If you're an atheist, congratulations. You just found several new hours in a day. Better sex. It's true, you don't have to feel guilty all the time about having sex if you're not married. Or if you are married, you don't have to worry about exploring your fantasies because they're not biblical. You don't have to feel guilty about using birth control, or getting tested, or having multiple partners if that's what you want. When you're an atheist, you're in control. You get to decide what you do. God doesn't tell you when and how and with whom you get to have sex. More realistic expectations about life and death. I think it's an important realization that there's no afterlife awaiting you. This is it. This is your life. You better make the most of it. Don't waste your time in a career that doesn't make you happy. Don't deny yourself the ability to pursue your passions. Spend time with the people who make you happy. It also makes you more sympathetic to people who may not have the same advantages that you do. The poor, the hungry, victims of any sort. I think you're much more likely to want to step in and help them because you know things aren't going to get better for them in the afterlife. They're only going to get better if you step in. It makes you more moral. I'm not saying atheists are always good and religious people are always bad. We know that's not the case. What I'm saying is that when you're an atheist, there's no guidebook telling you this is how you're supposed to be good. You know there's no eternal punishment waiting for you if you're bad. You know there's no eternal reward waiting for you if you're good. If you're a nice person, it's because you genuinely believe that's the way you should be acting. If you help somebody as an atheist, when you know nobody else is watching, I think that's a more moral thing to do than someone who is religious and who helps somebody else because they believe it's what God wants them to do and they believe God is looking down upon them, making sure you're doing the right thing. Finally, you get richer. No, really, if you're not giving a tithe to your church, especially when you don't really want to be there, you now have all this money that is not going there anymore. I hope you put it to good use, give it to a worthwhile cause, give it to a charity. Hell, just buy something nice for yourself, because you deserve it. You left your faith. What are some of the other benefits to leaving religion? Let us know in the comments. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Leave a comment below, and we'll be sure to check it out, and don't forget to subscribe.